So I'm gonna talk to you about an effective, holistic, anti-displacement organizing strategy. So we already have in San Francisco, we're very good at the kind of organizing you already know about, strengthening renters' rights. But we also need to make sure that we have enough capacity to accommodate all of the people that are moving here. How much extra capacity is that? What is our cumulative housing debt? So the red line represents housing units per resident. In 1980, this is the inverse of household size. We have 2.1 people per household. Now it's 2.3 people per household, which doesn't sound like a big difference, but the green is rents. And rents have gone up quite a lot. So in 2005, we were at 2 people per household, and rents dropped a little bit. Maybe 2005 is a good year zero for calculating a cumulative deficit of housing. The difference, population difference, 2005, 2006, 25,000 almost. We should have built 11,000 units. Instead, we built 2,000 units. And the deficit grows. Till 2012, when that's the last time I had good data, we're at 34,000 units that we should have built. And now rents are twice as much now as they were in 2005. Last year, 3,500 units, and the year before, 2,000 units, if you're interested. The amount of units is going up, which is good, but every year, nowhere near the 10,000 that we really should be building. Maybe this is an overestimate, actually, because even in the 80s, there were people starting to be like, we're not building enough. But you know what? This is bigger than zero. So even if it's an underestimate, if it's an overestimate, it doesn't matter. There's no such thing as overbuilding for renters. If we make a mistake and build too much, for renters, that's the best thing ever. Units go on sale. Overbuilding is a concern for owners and investors. Here's an example. In Oakland, Urban Core wants to build 300 new units. If they're wrong and we don't have 300 people that want to live there, the units go on sale. If they're right and we don't build it, those 300 people still come, and then they compete with all of the current residents for the housing that does exist. And this is the connection between building luxury housing and the availability of lower income, housing that's cheap enough for lower income people to live in. I can't compete with high income people for the housing that I live in. And so I need high expensive housing to be built to soak up those people. This is often called supply and demand, but it's actually a much more fundamental principle. The pigeonhole principle says that if you have more pigeons than holes, then there's gonna be a pigeon left out. What can you do about it? Tomorrow, you can come tell the DCCC, no, a moratorium on building and the mission is the opposite of what we need to do. If you live in District 3, you can not vote for Aaron Peskin. Yes, more applause for that. Aaron Peskin is the shortage candidate, you guys. He opposed 8,000 units on Treasure Island. They held that up for 3 years. For what? Another thing that you can do is go to sfbarf.org. I know you're gonna remember it. Actually, just go to it right now. I'll wait. All right, you can come with us. This is actually incredibly effective, even more effective than voting. Just come with us to the Planning Commission, June 18th, 277 units of the mission. This is a specific project that needs its approvals. When the Planning Commission says yes, then those units will go forward, and we need all of those units. Do not worry, I live in West Oakland, but this is all one housing market. It doesn't matter where you live. Don't let anybody tell you that your opinion doesn't count because you don't live in the neighborhood. But finally, in your neighborhood, you have to support projects there too. All NIMBYs are actually pro-housing, just not near where they live. So you might be sitting here and be like, oh yeah, sure, housing, that's great. But if you have an opportunity in your neighborhood and you don't take that opportunity to say yes, here too, then it doesn't really do anything. So yes, build, help us get out of this problem because we can. Thank you.